flyers, and however it is, we want to get the word out as much as possible that we are here to assist. Also, it looks like, according to DPH, we'll be able to order vaccines starting very soon, which will come in really handy in September and October when we're planning our pediatric clinics. And, you know, we've done a lot of planning for this in the schools. I think we got it down to a fairly good science with coordination with our nurse volunteers, our school nurses, and our fire department. Yeah, and I think that's really it, except for we have 1,070 partially vaccinated people. So if you haven't gotten your second shot and you're due and you're having problems with it, let me know and I can help you out. I think that's it.
All right.
I know that was a lot.
That's all right. That's why we have these. Anybody have any further questions for Marty about the vaccination efforts?
I have a question about the percentages we talked about at the beginning. So if I understand correctly, 55% of the totality and 60% of those eligible. So
64, yeah.
Okay. Does that include the minors that aren't eligible for age, or does that just include people that are like autoimmune compromised and can't take it?
So the 55% is just total of the population.
Everybody,
Yeah.
okay.
And the 64 is our 12 and older who are able to get vaccinated in any shape.
Okay, so when they do approve a vaccination for youngers, these percentages are definitely going to skew very quickly, you know, when that comes out.
Yes.
Okay. And we need not be alarmed by that.
No.
They become eligible,
No,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
I think we should be alarmed that we're only at 64% and we should be significantly higher. And I mean, we talked about this. We're willing to meet people where they are at for as far as hesitancy and explain it. And 64% is still too low. But yes, to answer your question about that.
Okay.
I mean, we don't know who is and who isn't, other than just looking at the raw data that we have from the state.
Yes. Well, I mean, I know who is, but clearly we can't share that.
Right.
Yeah.
If hearing no other questions, we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is the food inspection update. Marty, back to you.
We've enlisted, weird word from a military guy, the help of Alsco Food Check. Mr. Scoglio, he works with a lot of our surrounding communities, Avon, Marshfield, doing some inspections for the towns that were, have had problems keeping up. And because we're short-staffed in the office right now, I've asked them to do some inspections in town while we deal with this and until we fill some of the positions that are open. And I was able to pay for it with grant money, so they're really, really good people, and they actually teach a lot of the courses that one needs to become food inspector certified. So if our business isn't out there, and I've spoken very highly of our business, and he understands that he understands the Marty rule #1, which is be nice, and he's a good person. So if our business is in town, please be. When you see Mr. Scoglio, they are good people who just want to educate first and then go from there. But that's why we're doing that. We have a contract with them in the short term, and I appreciate them willing to work with us.
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
Our next agenda item is mental health first aid dates. Is that Melissa, Marty?
Alternate.
Can we do it? No problem. Thank you, Melissa, for introducing us to Ms. Babcock. I mean, we've been talking a lot about Jenny, and I love the idea. So we're going to have the first event in that mental health training. It's called Pizza and Prevention. That's going to be on the 14th of September from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. There will be a flyer. We will do proper advertising coming soon. Our state representative will be there. I'll be there. We've lined up the veterans agent will be there. The fire chief, the deputy fire chief will be there, and we're going to talk about the uncomfortable topics of self-harm. So please come out there and support your local community. And then while you're there, you'll be able to sign up for our first mental health first aid course, which is for our youth population, to help the youth population, but 18 and older. And that's going to be on the 1st of October. And you can get all the information at our Pizza and Prevention Night on the 14th of September.
Marty, thank you so much for all your work on this effort.
It's so rewarding. And it's going to be great.
Thank you to you both for putting this together. I know it'll be really appreciated by everybody in town. Okay, so the next agenda item is mosquito safety, AAA West Nile virus. This is something I asked to just throw on the agenda. While neither of these things I know are a pressing issue at this point in time, I think it's just worth a friendly reminder that while you're outside, wear bug spray. Keep those precautions in mind, even if they are not imminent, because that's how they start. So, unless Marty, you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just did bring some stats because, as it happens, the HON for the stats is released on Monday, so it's very convenient for us. So as of right now, there's been no mosquitoes that have tested positive, mosquito samples from, that they gather in the wilderness, that has tested positive for West Nile or for Tripoli in Plymouth County. So we're doing good. And of the human surveillance that's on humans that have had a fever on unknown origin, the 68 tested no cases of West Nile and Tripoli so far. And we're in August now, so we're doing all right.
Plymouth County does offer a service for spraying as well.
They do.
Yes.
And you can call, you have to call every week if you want it done, but they will come out to your house and, fog the area. There might, if there's a place where there's standing water, like a brook or something of that nature, they'll also throw in the pucks that would, kill the larvae in the water as well. So that service is available. It's the Plymouth County mosquito. I don't know if we have that on our website, but
I believe we do. And to add to that, if you have tires in your house or in your yard, with standing water in them, they will come and collect them for free. So get in touch with Plymouth County Mosquito Control. There should be a video on Abington Cam with me talking to Dan Daly about mosquitoes from a prior year. I'm sure it's also available on Facebook, so if anybody's interested in that, there's a lot of good information there as well. All right, so our next agenda item is donation bin regulation. Now, if you'll excuse me, I don't have a copy of it in front of me because I forgot to print it out. So, Christina, would you mind reminding us where we left off last
Yes.
meeting on that?
So we tabled the discussion last meeting. The regulation, as it currently stands, without changes in Section 5C, reads, "The permittee and the operator shall be individually and severally responsible for abating or removing all rubbish, trash, garbage, junk, debris, and any other refused material in the area surrounding the unintended donation boxes within 1 hour of written or verbal notice from the director or his or her designee." Our suggested change is to change the time frame from 1 hour to what was emailed to the board to 24 hours. So that's the part we're looking to change. I believe at our last meeting, Marty suggested that it might be a consideration to even give more than 24 hours, which at this point I'll open up to other board members for.
And I believe the original version that we sent to town council said 48 hours. Is that correct, Marty?
I think it said 24.
Did it say 24?
No, they changed it to 24.
I thought they changed it to 1.
They did change it to 1.
Sorry,
And now
yeah, I got that.
today's discussion is to increase the time limit for a resident. So of course, getting called and being told you have 1 hour just doesn't seem practical to our residents.
Christina, what section is that again? I'm sorry.
It's Section 5C.
And just to clarify, do we know why this was offered to be changed, suggested to be changed to 1 hour?
No comment was given on
No
it.
comment was given?
And it's completely up to the board's purview. And I would recommend a 24-hour grace period. Because if someone's out of town,
I agree. And then of note, other places in the regulations is when you apply for a permit, you do need to be available within 1 hour, but this section is upon enforcement for 24. So I think it's really kind of, you give the expectation of 1, but when we go to enforce it, we're holding them to 24. I think that's fair.
I agree.
Agree.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the regulation changes.
A second.
I have a motion from Christina to approve the change on section 5C
C.
To increase, I want to read this correctly, I apologize. Sorry. I have a motion from Christina to change the regulation as written from section 5C from 1 hour to 24 hours, and a second from Melissa. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? It's unanimous. So that's just to make that change, right, Marty? So we'll have to do.
Yes, because all of the other changes were approved at previous. So I think we're all set with that one.
So with that donation, that regulation is now in effect.
I will post it tomorrow,
Beautiful.
or soon.
So we'll work that out. Okay.
You have 1 hour.
I can give you a list of places that we need to check out already.
All right. Our next agenda item is the Eagle Scout project update. That is from our Eagle Scout candidate, Nick Schultz. So Nick, if you want to, I don't know, you can either come up here or come sit with us, up to you.
Can I just stay here?
I guess if you want to, that's okay.
I think they have to be able to hear him.
Yeah, you need to come up to the
Yeah.
microphone. Remember to
you so
introduce your name and your address.
I'd have you yell, but I
My address.
don't think that's good.
My name's Nick Schultz. I live on 23 Nile Street. A while ago, a very long time ago, I came to you and talked about my whole Eagle project, and I promised that at the end of it, after it was over, I would have a thing to give to you that was the whole guidelines and program guide for all of the FEMA topics of emergency preparedness and stuff. And this is what I have. I've brought it. I don't remember if I was here when I mentioned that because of due to COVID and stuff, I couldn't do the whole walk and talk thing that I was originally going to do. The whole can't find the word. Fair. Yeah, the emergency preparedness fair. So what I ended up doing was I collaborated with Abington Cam to produce a list of PowerPoint presentations and videos explaining some of these topics, and the whole was I did I think 5 topics from this, and what I have this big binder that I'm going to give to you people that has all the topics along with the whole program guide and stuff. And there's handouts in here, and there's a flash drive that comes with all the PowerPoints and videos I've made along with more FEMA file stuff.
What were the 5 topics?
They were emergency preparedness on a shoestring, which is basically just knowing when disaster is going to happen, preparing for disaster and what to do when it happens. Where is everybody, which is just where's everybody, who can you count on, who counts on you, or both things about communication with people that are important to you and stuff in disasters scenarios. There's sheltering in place, the storm safe was just about weather hazards and stuff and what to do in those situations. And then I also did hunting home hazards, which is finding fire hazards and smoke alarms with dead batteries in your house and how to avoid starting fires and stuff. Which is, I did PowerPoints and video presentations on those 5 topics.
And where are those video presentations now?
They are on Abington Cam's official YouTube channel. That was part of the collaboration. I presented them and edited them and sent them to Abington Cam, and they're up on the YouTube channel. And they're also on this flash drive that you will be receiving, along with the PowerPoints and other PDF stuff. I forgot every word in the English dictionary as soon as I got up here.
So if I made it to clarify, the facilitator's guide is basically the syllabi for all the courses, is that correct?
Yes.
And then there's master copies of the handouts that would be given to participants?
Yeah.
And the idea of giving this to the board was in case we want to at some point.
Use these topics and presentations yourselves to further spread this sort of information about emergency preparedness.
As part of a training program?
You can really use it for whatever you want, but yeah, that's the I think that's the idea of just getting this
More informational for the
Informational.
general population.
Yeah, for general populace, just getting it out there.
So Nick, one of the ideas I had was trying to get myself on a schedule for public service announcements related to public health. So it sounds like you've done 5 topics. What were they again? I'm so sorry, I cannot hear you over here, my friend.
It's okay. They were preparedness on a shoestring, which the essence of it is knowing what to have in case of a disaster emergency and stuff that the protocols of what to do when those happen. Where is everybody?
Is that kind of for residents of Abington, in your household, how to do emergency preparedness?
Yeah, it's a whole. The essence of it is making a kit of like things to have in case you need to like shelter in your home, like first aid supplies and food.
Or a pandemic.
Yeah.
That's super relevant. Okay.
I forget the specifics of where is everybody, who can you count on, who counts on you. They both have to do with communication, with like getting contacts, arranging things and people in your neighborhood and people in your family to have like evacuation plans and stuff, and sheltering in place, which is about weather disasters like hurricanes and tornadoes and what to do to stay safe in those situations. And there's also hunting home hazards, which is like things to look for in your house that could cause fires or like gas leaks and stuff like that, how to prevent those.
Sounds really applicable to people that are residents. I actually moved here, so from South Dakota, and I know when I moved here, we got hit by a blizzard. And having been through blizzards, I thought I'd be fine. But being a Massachusetts resident and not being prepared, it was a completely different world. And I was actually underprepared, not being, having a program like this. So I can see how this would be really valuable to people moving out of the state into Massachusetts, people that are, here, pandemic and stuff.
There are a lot more than 5 topics that they have, but I chose 5 that I thought were really relevant and could be used at any time.
Yeah, it sounds like you did a good job having your options limited by the pandemic. What would you say was like the coolest thing you learned during this project? Doesn't have to be practical, by the way.
I can't really pick one. I think just the hunting home hazards one I think was my favorite to research and find out. Like there's like tons of extremely exhaustive lists of tons of things that can cause hazards in your home, and I just looking at all those was just interesting to me. I can't say why.
No, I think it is. One day you're gonna go buy a house, and all this stuff is gonna become relevant really quick.
Yeah.
Lead paint. I know Marty's thinking of his website now, right? Well, thank you so much for letting me ask a couple questions about it.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have any questions for Nick? Or Nick, do you have any questions for us?
I don't have any questions.
You should have one important question for us.
I don't have a question for you.
Are we satisfied with your project? This is your Eagle project, right? And the beneficiary is the Board of Health?
Yeah. I assumed you were satisfied, but I'll ask just in case. Are you all satisfied with the outcome of this project?
I look forward to reviewing it. I haven't had a chance to see anything.
I do as well, and I appreciate the hard work and effort, and, that you've put in.
Yeah, you want to pass around the binder?
Yeah.
Sure.
I will say as a side note, as a leader in your troop, and I'm going to pass this along because we are proud of the work that you've done, and thank you for doing this for the residents of our town.
Thank you very much, Nick.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now you have to stand there for the rest of the meeting.
All right. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
All right. The last item on our agenda is about adding additional meetings. It's a discussion and a vote. I know between today and September 20th, we had no meetings scheduled.
There's one scheduled, but it's on a Tuesday, and the board
Voted not to do that. So, in essence, we really don't want to go that long without meeting. So there was some talk about adding another meeting date. In talking to Marty, just kind of spitballing what might work the best. August 30th seems to fall right in the middle of those 2 different dates. So I know I'm the chair. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to make a motion or not, but I'm going to throw that out as a suggestion. And
I'll second for August 30th at a meeting.
Yes.
okay, so we have a motion. Second, any discussion on the August 30th
6 o'clock?
date? Can we move to 7? Is that a problem, Marty?
No, that's completely up
I
to you.
know there's some issue trying to get here for some people at 6 today, so.
Yeah, 7 p.m. is fine.
All right, so,
And we can also still do Zoom if Zoom is more convenient for some people.
okay, we can worry about the location afterwards, but if August 30th at 7 p.m. works for everybody, we can take a vote. All those in favor, well, actually, any more discussion on August 30th? It might be. I mean, as far as I'd be concerned, and it's up to everybody else what they think. I mean, we're going to meet. It's going to be recorded. If anybody wants to watch afterwards and get in touch with us, I mean, we'll work it out. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is unanimous. So we will have a meeting on August 30th at 7 o'clock. All right, those are all the agenda items. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Well,
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion from Kevin, a second from Christina. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Majority? We are adjourned.